Hi and welcome to today's video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Lauren. I post weekly vlogs as well as lifestyle videos. Today's video is about trying to conceive. My husband and I are trying to conceive baby number one, and I want to share some tips and tricks that I've learned and share how I track my cycle and what products I like to use. We had a pregnancy in August that ended in miscarriage, so we've had success in getting pregnant before, and so I'm using all the same stuff that I used to get pregnant then to start trying to conceive again. So just for some background info, my husband and I started trying to conceive back in May. I had one cycle that we tried and were unsuccessful, and then I got pregnant on the second cycle using these methods. That's definitely not the case for everyone. I know it usually does take longer sometimes, so we were very lucky that we got pregnant right away, and we're really hoping that happens again this time, but I don't know. But this is the method that I think definitely works. Like, a lot of people use this and have successful pregnancies, and so yeah, so I learned all of this stuff like online, on forums, just research. I think I ended up watching a YouTube video just from a YouTuber that I like. It was before we were trying to conceive, and she talked about all the things that she did, and so this is kind of the method I found that definitely works for us. I know there's a lot of different tools and products that you can use, but I don't want to spend a ton of money on those things. And I suppose if we were trying for another year or so and we're unsuccessful, like, we'd go to the doctors and then also try other products. But this is what's cheap, what's easy, and what worked for us before. So the number one thing that I do is I take a prenatal vitamin. These are from Target. It's just the Up and Up brand. They're the prenatal gummies. I started taking gummies because I don't like taking big pills, and I know when you're pregnant it can be hard too when you have morning sickness and stuff like that to take a pill. So I like these. These are lemon and raspberry lemonade flavors. They taste pretty good. It's about $8 for 90 gummy vitamins, so you take 2 a day, so this lasts about a month and a half. And these have DHA and folic acid. Yeah, and they taste good. They're cheap. I like them. I think the only thing that they don't have, I know a lot of prenatals don't have iron, and that's something that you might need when you're pregnant, but that'll be something in the future, like, I'll talk to my doctor about if I need to, or that's something that you should talk to your doctor about, is taking iron supplements as well. Yeah, I've been taking these almost every day since May. I started taking them as soon as I stopped taking birth control, and then after my D&C, my doctor did tell me I didn't take them the week of my D&C because when I read the paper, it told me not to take any vitamins or any medicines or anything like that. So when I went in, I told my doctor that I had taken, or that I wasn't taking them more. Something came up about it, and she told me to keep taking them and just keep them in my system, even if we had to wait a couple cycles to try again. And it's a vitamin. I mean, it has every vitamin, you know, A, C, D, E, B6, and B12, and it has iodine and zinc. So it's not like it's bad to take anyway, because it's just a vitamin. And so yeah, these are inexpensive. They taste good. I eat them, I guess, because they are gummies. Just in the morning when I wake up, I can eat them on an empty stomach, and it doesn't bother me right now. When I'm pregnant and might have morning sickness, that might change. I didn't have very bad morning sickness before when I was pregnant. I had some mild food aversions, and I started taking vitamin B6 and Unisom to, like, help with that. So I was still able to take these in the morning and eat breakfast in the morning, and I was fine. I didn't feel well later in the day, so breakfast wasn't an issue, and taking these in the morning was not an issue. But if it is, then obviously you have to figure something else out to make sure you're getting those vitamins in. The second thing that I do every day is I take my temperature with this basal body thermometer. This is the iProven brand. I just bought it on Amazon. I think it was under $10. I'm going to link everything that I use below in the description box. I think I bought most of this stuff on Amazon. But basically, in the mornings, you take your basal body temperature. So you're supposed to take it after 3 consecutive hours of sleep at the same time every morning. And it just helps track where you are in your cycle. Your temperature stays at a certain level before you ovulate, and then it'll rise after ovulation. And so temping is kind of how you confirm that you ovulated. So, and I'll show you on the app that I track my cycle on how this all kind of goes together. But I set my alarm for 5:30 in the morning. I set it for before I want to wake up for work because sometimes I just wake up naturally before my alarm goes off at 6:30. So I set this alarm first, and I'll go back to sleep for an hour if I want to, but I set my alarm early in case I wake up early. I just take my temperature really quick, log it in the app, and I'll lay back down or do whatever I need to do. If I want to get up for the day, I can. And so it's really important that you stay consistent on what time because it does matter. And yeah, so it helps track where you are in your cycle and confirm ovulation. It's really easy to do, and obviously you just wake up at the same time and you take your temperature, and it takes like a second. And it's important that you log if you're sick, if anything's different. I try to make sure I kind of stay at the same temperature, that I don't get too cold or too warm. It's hard during the summer and during the winter to keep things consistent, but that's also important because sometimes your temperature can dip really low or rise really high based on if you're hot or cold. So it's just really important to stay consistent. So the next thing that I do is use OPKs, which are ovulation predictor kits. This is the box that I buy. I buy the Wanfo brand. The box that I buy on Amazon, it has 50 LH tests, which is luteinizing hormones, plus 20 HCG tests, which is like the pregnancy test. So it comes with both OPKs and pregnancy test. And I think this box is like $20-ish. But basically, so this is what the ovulation test looks like. You pee in a cup and you dip it in there for 3 seconds and then lay it on the counter and read it in 5 minutes. So these are kind of confusing. So there's a control line and a test line, and the OPK is positive when the test line is darker than the control line, and that's the only time it's positive. If it's the same, if it's lighter than the control line, then it's negative. And so what it measures is your luteinizing hormone, which you get a surge of like in the, I think it's 12 to 36 hours before you ovulate. So basically you take this test, and once you start nearing your fertile window, which I check using like cervical mucus, like when you go to the bathroom, you can kind of check and see if you have fertile cervical mucus. I recommend definitely looking that up and kind of seeing what types there are and what fertile cervical mucus is. The one that's like the most fertile, I think, is watery and egg white. So I kind of keep track because I know I get egg white. This is like a lot of TMI. If you're not interested in that, like, stop watching. But obviously if you're trying to conceive, you want to learn about this kind of stuff. But I know for me, I get egg white cervical mucus before I ovulate, like a few days before. So that's when I start taking my OPKs. And it usually takes a couple days to get a positive, but I take them after work. So the best time to take these is in the afternoon, I think, like between 10 and like 8 at night or something like that. Like, you don't use first morning urine like you do with a pregnancy test. So I'll drink water all morning, and then I won't drink water past noon, so around lunchtime. And then I'll like use the restroom on my lunch break around like usually before 2. And so then I hold it for like 4 hours. So you want to make sure your urine is like concentrated so you get all the hormones in there. So I'll just wait and use the restroom when I get home, or like around 6 o'clock, which is totally fine. And then you just see if it's negative or positive. If it's positive, that means you're going to ovulate hopefully in the next 12 to 36 hours, so you can time things accordingly. So these are super helpful just to have an idea. So I log these into my app, and then if I had a positive or negative, and then I just wait to see if my temperature rises or not and confirms ovulation. And then I'll show you really quick. These are just a little pregnancy test. These are the same thing. Pee in a cup, dip it in for 3 seconds, and then read it in 5 minutes. Obviously 2 lines means you're pregnant. I will use these like early on, well, not early, but like I use these first, and if I see anything on this, then I will use, I'll show you these. Just the first response, early response. These are what I used before to confirm that I was pregnant, and I really, really like them. They're easy to read. They measure pregnancy, like hormones, really early. So these are super sensitive. These are more sensitive than these. So that's why I'll wait till I see like a little bit of something on here, and then I'll take one of these. A 3-pack of these is $13, so these are expensive. That's why I wait to use them. I bought so many though when I was pregnant because I wanted to see the line get darker. Sorry. Oh, my throat is really scratchy. The whole world is smoky right now, and it's awful, and my throat is like not having it. But anyway, I use these. You can pee like on them, but I do the cup thing, like dip it, because that's easier. I think it works better. But yeah, these ones are super easy to read, and I really, really like them, but they are expensive, so I try to use them sparingly. So I keep track of all of this on an app called Fertility Friend. It's free on the Google Play Store, and I think probably on the Apple Store or whatever iPhones have. That's where I can log positive or negative OPK, cervical mucus, any symptoms I have, and my temperature each day. So I'm going to show you what that app looks like and how I use it. So this is the Fertility Friend app. When you open it up, there's a calendar. It tells you what cycle day you're on, and it's where you can kind of see parts of your cycle. So there's a color code, and it basically will tell you when your period's going to be, when it predicts your fertile days, ovulation days, when you should take a pregnancy test, what day you're on, and then when you actually have those things like your period, your fertile days, your ovulation, and then your luteal phase, it'll color those. Like right now I'm in the luteal phase or whatever it's called, and then those are like my ovulation day, and then it'll show like that's last month for my period. So it like color codes everything, and puts little symbols for different things. And then when you scroll down, let's see what else is there. Oh, so there's you can click on this, and it's like it gives you little tidbits, like little helpful things, little articles, like kind of based on what's going on your app. And I find those really helpful. When you click interpretation, it gives you, it's a sign-by-sign analysis of your pattern and all the things that are kind of going on. So it'll tell you like your temperature fluctuations are okay, your timing of your temperature is okay, when it thinks you're going to ovulate based on your test and your cervical fluid, all that kind of stuff. There's a forum. I don't really go on that. If you click this, you can find charts that look like yours, and it's kind of nice to compare your chart to other people. I don't know. I do that sometimes, but not really. So this is my chart. And so this is the biggest part of using Fertility Friend is you chart your temperature. So you enter it in each day. You click on data down there. And then you basically will log any symptoms you have. If you have a positive or negative OPK or pregnancy test, what your cervical fluid is like that day, if you had sex or not, if you got your period, and then down here it tells you where to put your temperature and what time you took it. And then you can also, there's stuff down here like your weight, you can put that in. You can take a picture of your OPKs or pregnancy tests, which I'll show you in a minute. And then you can log, like if you took any medications, fertility medications, and like other symptoms, you can log those. So when you input your temperature, it'll put it on this chart, and it'll show you how it goes up and down throughout your cycle. And then the red lines are your crosshairs. So it tells you what day you ovulate based on temperatures when they rise. So it'll pinpoint which day. So for this, it said I ovulated on cycle day 17 because I had a temperature dip. Plus I had positive OPKs. And then my temperature rose consistently for 3 days after that. And then it tells you all your stats. So it tells you when you can take a pregnancy test, which mine says November 30th is the best day to take, or no, November 16th. That's cycle day 30. That's a long time from now. And then it'll say that my period is supposed to start on the 17th. And then you can put all of your symptoms in there. That's where it'll show you what days you had different kinds of cervical mucus. And then as you go down, there's different analyzers. So when you're in your fertile window or you're waiting for that, it'll show a stoplight. And so if it's green, it means you're fertile. If it's red, you're not there yet. And then down here, it tells you when your period's supposed to start, how long your cycle usually is, and when your last period was. If you click on pregnancy monitor, it tells you how well you timed intercourse, like if you hit the right days, how many temperatures are above the cover line and below, what your BBT trend says, if you have any other signs and symptoms. It tells you when your due date would be, if you conceive this cycle, and if you click on milestones, it'll show you how far along you would be on certain dates and when you'd enter the second and third trimester. Yeah, that's about it for that. And let me see, what else did I want to show you? Oh, so I have the VIP membership. It costs $45 a year. I got it on sale. Every once in a while the prices will change, so I did it for $25 for the whole year. I think the VIP version, it's just helpful to have certain things. I don't remember what the difference is, but for me it was worth it. I had tried a trial of the VIP membership. I think I had a month trial, and I really, really liked it, so it was worth it for me to do that. And then let's see what else is there. You can see your charts from other months, and you can compare them to each other. Lightbox is where you can take pictures of OPKs. So this would be a negative. That's one that I had on cycle day 8. So the test line is much lighter than the control line. Oh, where'd it go? And then this would be like a really strong positive. So this is with cycle day 15. Oops. I'm recording this. I read a tip online that if you open a game to record it in Google Play Games and then you minimize the game, it'll still record your screen and whatever's on it. So that's why I'm doing this, because my phone doesn't have like a screen capture recording thing. So this is a positive. The test line is a lot darker than the control line. And so you can keep track of your pictures and compare them in the light box. And then that's about all that I use on here. Once you're pregnant, I can't remember if it was helpful for pregnancy or not. I downloaded a different app for pregnancy, so I think I ended up not using this app anymore. I think I used the Ovia pregnancy app. I like that one a lot better. But this is really nice to keep track of my cycle, and I really like it. It's really helpful, and I definitely recommend it if you're trying to conceive. So that's all I do to track my cycle and to make sure we're planning and timing things well to get pregnant. I'll take these one-fill pregnancy tests starting at 9 days post-ovulation. I know you're supposed to wait longer. It's hard to do that when you're trying to conceive a baby. So if I see a shot on one of these, I'll take the first response, or I'll wait till like 12 days past ovulation and take one of those just to see, because they are more sensitive. Yeah. I think that's it. It's pretty easy. It's really not a hard thing to do to track. The hard part is getting pregnant from all the tracking, because you can track all you want and ovulate and time things perfectly, and sometimes it just doesn't happen. But I hope you like this video. I find all this stuff, like learning more about this, super helpful for me, so I hope that it helped you. Yeah. I will see you for my next video. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to see more. Bye!